All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. After his recent comments about being kept in a game to pitch, Seattle Mariners starting pitcher George Kirby has become the poster boy for criticism by former pitchers, writers, and some old school baseball fans alike. And as it is extremely easy to sit down and pile on Kirby for his comments, this is part of a much deeper issue that has been bubbling for some time now. Now, when speaking to reporters following Seattle's 7-4 loss to the Tampa Bay Rays last Friday night, Kirby expressed regret in being left in the pitch in the seventh inning where he surrendered the game-tying two-run home run. Kirby said, quote, "I wish I wasn't out there for the seventh, to be honest. I was at 90 pitches and I really didn't think I could go anymore." Unquote. End quote, excuse me. Now, on Saturday, Kirby did atone for his comments by saying that he simply screwed up. But unfortunately, for his sake, with a lot of people, the damage had been done. Now, regardless of how Kirby feels, he is not the only current MLB pitcher who probably feels like this. And you can blame analytics for that. Nowadays, pitchers are more focused on pitch counts, velocity, and only going through the lineup twice because this is what they've been taught since they were younger. But for me, and I've said this before, and I'm going to continue to say it, what has happened with common sense in baseball and sports in general? Now, you're focusing so much on the analytics and what the computers and what the stats say as opposed to just using your brain. Everybody is not capable of hitting 100 miles per hour consistently on the radar gun. And that's a big reason why we're seeing so many guys, so many issues. So many guys having to have Tommy John surgeries, not just once, multiple times, because they're overthrowing. Everybody's not meant to hit 100. You're going to have guys that can hit 92. You're going to have guys that need to work on locating, but you know what? That right now is a lost art form. Now, can you imagine? Just think about it. You have so many great pitchers over the years in Major League Baseball, but can you imagine some of the greats like Tom Seaver, Pedro Martinez, Bob Gibson, or other legends asking out of a game or being content at 90 pitches? I don't think so. And like I said before, and I'm going to say it again, pitching is an art form and it's all about mixing up speeds and locations. But this current era has focused so hard on the two seam fastball. And now, again, like I said, this is part of the reason why you're seeing so many guys going out there and getting Tommy John, while the amount of complete games throughout the league continues to dwindle. Nowadays, if a pitcher reaches 7 innings, he is treated like a god when there was a time when this was the norm. I mean, you think about it, we're never going to see anybody come close to Cy Young's record of more than 500 career wins. Heck, we might not ever see another 300 game winner at the rate that things are going in Major League Baseball right now. And for me, it's mind boggling. And I'm waiting for somebody to sit back and ask, with all of the nutritional and training advantages, modern technology, modern medicine, you name it, that is at the fingertips of these players and these front offices. When is somebody going to sit back and say, hey, the Juan Marshals, the Bob Gibsons, and so many other legends of the pitching, they didn't have these aspects. They didn't have these advantages. And they still went out there every fourth or fifth day and were effective for 9 innings. And nowadays, we're lucky to get guys who can go five. And of course, they're being lauded. Now, call me old school, but I don't like the direction that things are headed with baseball because the product has gotten so watered down. You think about it, analytics is really changing things. We're in an era now where we're glorifying hitters for barely hitting 200. But you know what? As long as they can hit 40 home runs or more a season, we'll avoid the strikeouts. We'll avoid the low batting average. You name it. But baseball was all about having guys who could do different things in the lineup. Your leadoff hitter for so many generations was the table setter. He was a guy up there, who could take pitches, who knew how to get on base, and who knew how to affect things for the power hitters behind him. And it's not just the Ricky Hendersons of the world. You've had tremendous leadoff hitters over the years, guys who could consistently hit 280, 290, get on base, steal bases. And then, of course, that two guy in the lineup was the consistent hitter, the guy who knew how to make contact. And then, of course, your 3, 4, 5 guys, the power guys. And then it balanced out a little bit more going down the lineup. But everybody's now swinging for the fences. And again, like I've said before, and I'm going to continue to say it, we have a league full of Dave Kingmans. So will things get turned around? And will we once again see pitchers being able to pitch? It ain't gonna happen tomorrow. I'll tell you that much. But it's sad because we see guys being taken out of middle uh in the middle of no hitters and perfect games. We see team combined no hitters. And I mean, just look at this past Sunday when the Brewers took on the Yankees in the Bronx. Corbin Burns and Garrett Cole were out there dealing. Corbin Burns had a no hitter after 8. He was taken out due to his pitch count, 109 pitches. Garrett Cole was taken out after 7 innings. This game went to extras, and the Yankees were able to pull it out 4-3. But you're just left to wonder what could have been. And I know that Corbin Burns and the Brewers, they're in the middle of trying to get to the postseason. The Yankees are holding on for dear life. But you have so many other pitchers out there that what their teams are out of contention, and we're still worried about pitch counts. I mean, right now you got guys struggling to get to 200 innings, and you're probably going to have less than a handful of guys reach 200 innings. I mean, you look at it right now. Logan Webb of the San Francisco Giants is the leader in the clubhouse, if you will, with innings pitched this year at 193. He has a very good shot to get to 200. So does Zach Gallen of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then Garrett Cole of the Yankees, and maybe Sandy Alcantara of the Miami Marlins. But after that, that's going to be it. And 200 used to be the norm. And I mean, of course, before teams went to the fifth starter, guys were making more starts. Obviously, it was easier to get the 300. Nolan Ryan hit that mark. Steve Carlton, Tom Seaver, so many others. Okay, from a different era of baseball, they consistently hit 300 innings. But nowadays, everybody's going for power, and again, it's affecting the arms because you think about it. Some of your great power pitchers, over time. I'm going to throw a couple of names out there: Pedro Martinez and Randy Johnson. When they were in their 20s, they were unhittable. Pedro Martinez with the Red Sox was unhittable. And the same thing can be said about his time with the Montreal Expos. Obviously, when Pedro was finishing up with the Red Sox, and by the time he got to the Mets, he had to learn how to locate a little bit more. Uh, the same thing could be said with Randy Johnson when he was when once he figured it out after that, after he was wild with the Expos. By the time he got to the Mariners, forget about it. He was unhittable. And you think about that run that he had with the Arizona Diamondbacks in the early 2000s. Of course, him and Kurt Schilling leading the way with the Diamondbacks, winning it all in 2001. Randy Johnson was unhittable, but again, he was another guy towards the latter half of his career. He had to learn how to locate these guys nowadays, and this is not a slight on them. It is what it is. This is something that they really have not worked on. So I'm looking at it like this: something at some point has to change. Somebody has to sit back and say, you know what? Why were these guys from a different era able to do it so effectively, and now these guys can't? Analytics, once again, are hurting the sport, and it's a tragedy. Again, I know George Kirby's probably going to continue to get some criticism over his comments, and especially if the Mariners make the postseason, because it's going to be talked about, and that's fairly or unfairly, regardless of which side of the fence that you're on. It is what it is. But nonetheless, like it or not, this is the current state of things in Major League Baseball. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.